Good morning and welcome to the live lead-in preview show of Musikfest 2021 here on Service Electric. I'm Jon Lunger, the Director of Marketing at ArtsQuest, welcoming you back to another day of coverage of the world's best fest. I'm just going to say it. Before we get down to business, Musikfest starts in about a half hour. I have to take a quick brief second to say happy birthday, Christy Fulkerson. Our very own Christy Fulkerson turns, 18 today. I have no... How old do you think Christy is? You don't know. Brandon doesn't know, which is my nice segue into our first guest on our lead-in show, playing for the very first time at Musikfest.
Yep.
Brandon Boers. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Singer-songwriter. Oh my God, you just got attacked by a lanternfly. I got it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And hold on, we got to do our civic duty. We got to make sure it doesn't escape. When you're watching at home and you step outside and you see those lanternflies, make sure you stomp them when you're at Musikfest. You certainly have to stomp them too. But I think they just thought you were a tree, dude.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
There's no mistaking that. Yeah, you are a handsome, tall drink of water of a singer-songwriter, and we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
You're playing Main Street tonight, right?
I am, yeah, at 515 Main Street stage.
Yeah, Provident Bank, Main Street, 515. For those that are going to come out and check you out for the first time, maybe haven't heard you before, what can they expect from your set?
It's going to be a three-piece. It's going to be full band. I'll have bass and drums. It'll be like story-like kind of songs, very emotional. I guess it'd just be, very smooth and laid back and relaxed.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. When you say story-like songs, you mean like a narrative, kind of like in the tradition of that like 60s folk singer-songwriter, maybe like that kind of thing?
Something like that, yeah. When I songwrite, I write stories in my lyrics, and that just goes to show in the songs, and it's just an emotional roller coaster when I play them. So
very cool. I was listening to you. I got distracted because I got dive bombed by a spotted lanternfly there. I got him though. I want you to potentially write a story about us getting attacked by spotted lanternflies.
Sure, I could do that.
Okay. But you prepared a song that's not about that for us this morning, right?
I do, yeah.
All right. Well, what are you going to be singing for us here in a sec?
I have a song called Overdue on an EP I put out, Lead Me the Way You Found Me, in 2018.
Okay.
I'm going to play that.
Very cool. And you said that's available on Spotify when we were off camera, right? So that's pretty cool. Everybody should check that out for sure. Just check out Brandon Boers. Search that on Spotify. Check out that EP from 2018. You think you may eventually kind of work your way back into the studio as we kind of get back into live music?
I probably will. I have I have another band that I play with, and we just got out of the studio. So.
Oh, very cool. What's the name of the other band?
Widow's Work.
Okay.
It's like a heavier band.
Nice. Very cool. Well, Brandon, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to let you work your magic. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Brandon Boers.
Thank you.
I like the confidence and my being indirect. Where's the exam? I'm missing my sixth sense, or do I choose to ignore it? I can't help this the brightest of my days see shadow. House is empty as mine needs candles. Reminds me of how you let your guard down to let me hardly speak to me when I need it. Will you stay? Just to slip away. Overdue, I know that's not true. 'cause all I feel must be feeling too. And all my friends can't seem to understand. They've never been in this position. Well, the fate is on my side. I'll be with you in
Gentlemen, Brandon Bors. Brandon, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We appreciate it. Do yourself a favor. Download the Musikfest app powered by PNC Bank. Add Brandon's set to your custom schedule on there so you can get a reminder so you don't miss it today when he's performing up on Provident Main Street. You're a Lehigh Valley guy, right?
I am.
So
yeah.
this is your first time performing at Musikfest, but certainly not your first time at the festival, right?
Yeah, no, I've been to the festival plenty of times. I actually played with, I have a friend, the Lionhearted, and I did play Musikfest before under his name on the other side, the south side.
Very cool. I love the Lionhearted. I actually had him on a comedy show that I did where he performed, and then we sort of like did like bits based on his songs. What a great guy.
I heard that, yeah.
Very, very, very cool. So that's awesome. But, you know, as someone who's enjoyed the fest for many years, what are some of your favorite kind of memories of Musikfest as we kind of get back into the swing of things after a year not being down here in Bethlehem?
Memories. The food.
Yeah, my
I
man.
remember, I think it was in 2019, Chicago played, and I got 2 tickets for my dad to go see Chicago. I guess those stand out the most.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Check him out today, and certainly if you can't make it down to the fest, don't worry. You're not going to miss a thing because we've got you covered on 3 channels. 3 channels on Service Electric this year. You can check out the full broadcast schedule on the new website, senetwork.tv. It's fantastic. Check that out so you do not miss a thing of Musikfest 2021. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, more preview of what's to come here on Service Electric. Welcome back to our live lead-in preview show here on Service Electric. Musikfest, of course, starts at noon every day, so we are warming up. We are getting ready for the excitement. Jon Lunger, again, joined by my friend, my colleague at ArtsQuest, Shayna Super. You are a performing arts specialist at ArtsQuest, which is a fancy way of saying you are working behind the scenes to bring in bands not only to Musikfest, but Steel Stacks year-round.
Yeah, performing arts specialist makes it sound like I perform, and I certainly do not do that. I book the people that do perform and have tons of talent to bring this festival together.
Well, I mean, it's incredible when you think about the sheer volume of artists that get brought into Musikfest every year. Under normal circumstances, you know, thousands of folks apply. We are able to have hundreds of performers, but how does that process typically start? Bands that are maybe watching or want to know how they can kind of throw their hat in the ring, what do they need to do?
So the booking process is actually going to start probably for 2022 next month.
Oh, wow.
Sonic Bids is a platform that we use where bands put their electronic press kits, bios, songs, you know, just a lot so that the promoters can know what they're about, and then festivals open up platforms for them to all submit onto Sonic Bids and kind of route their tours for bands that are just getting started.
Cool.
So that's one way. The other way is that you can apply on steelstacks.org/applications. Applications.
Sure.
I think it's applications.
I think it is too.
And we use those for Musikfest, Levitt, Chris Kindlemart, Oktoberfest. Like, we go through that year round, so that is another fantastic way to get booked for Musikfest.
Sure, and certainly you're not alone. You're not sitting in a desk.
I certainly am not.
There are a group of volunteers that review every submission that comes through, make their recommendations, and certainly you have a group of colleagues that are phenomenal and really looking for that balance of like festival favorites and local talent and like some of those unusual or not necessarily unusual, but things you wouldn't normally see here, right? Like the access and the diversity of artists and genres at the festival is pretty amazing. I mean, a great example, like who in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania would have thought they could have stumbled onto world-class Nigerian folk music by Floxy B. Like, we're bringing that into Bethlehem, and that's largely the team behind the scenes finding that kind of thing.
Yeah, so the Music Arts Committee, we meet once a month to kind of discuss reviewing all of the submissions, as well as things that they've seen out in the concert world. They're all music lovers themselves. And we partner with other groups like Movement Moves Media to bring some genres that they're more in tune with, rap, hip-hop, world music, to Plaza Trop, and we had a full night on Saturday night. So in addition to our volunteer committees, we have great organizations that we work with too.
And Movement Moves, a fantastic organization headquartered in Allentown, dedicated to giving artists their first paid gigs, like really helping artists transition from that first step from starting to kind of develop their voice to how do I become professional, how do I get gigs. It's been truly wonderful working with them. They did an amazing activism kind of fundraiser concert during the last summer, I think.
Yeah, it was
right?
September.
September, yeah. No, certainly they brought in Space Camp. It's an artist that we've subsequently brought back to the Levitt Pavilion, and actually
Saturday at Town Square.
Yeah, they got a late night set here at Musikfest too. Just another great story of partnering with those area nonprofits to kind of bring something unexpected to the festival. Yeah,
it's been a great festival so far. I think we've gone back and forth so many times on what it was going to look like, and so far so good, knock on wood.
Yeah, we've got sound check behind us, of course. Polka, a great tradition here at the festival. What are some of your favorite traditions from the band side of things? Who are some of those must-see artists, those Musikfest favorites that you have to check out every time?
Well, I'm just going to go into some that I'm excited for this year, and it kind of leads into Igor a little bit that we'll talk about.
Yeah, okay.
So at Plaza Tropical today, you can see Mike Maines and the Branches, Joe Hertler and the Rainbow Seekers, and Igor. So, Plaza is the place to be tonight.
Wow. T-Mobile Plaza Tropical, the heart of the festival for sure. Some great stuff there. And of course, if you can't make it down, check out senetwork.tv for that live broadcast schedule to check out all of those bands. You'll see some of those bands that we mentioned. Just great talent, certainly, across the whole festival. And excited to be back live and in person, for sure. What's one piece of advice? This is a good question. For a band that's maybe starting out, as they begin that process, as they hope to maybe one day make it to a Musikfest stage, when they submit, what's one piece of advice you would have for bands? What are you looking to see in those submissions?
A good live video.
Yeah.
You hear recordings and mixes, and we want to see something that we can picture at a stage at Musikfest, something that really encapsulates what they are as a band live.
Very cool. And I know for a fact that as we get closer to those submissions opening, you can check out the Musikfest social media, whether it be the Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter, to get updates on when those submissions open up for Musikfest 2022. It's a wild thing. A lot of people think that this comes together at the last minute, but you are really working out a year, sometimes more than a year in advance. So plan ahead.
Heck yes. And, the pandemic kind of threw that all off, but normally right around now, bands are routing their 2022 tours.
Sure.
So we are gearing up for it soon.
For sure. Shayna was giving me some previews of what may be coming to the main stage next year. I'm not allowed to talk about it. I've been sworn to secrecy, but I'm very excited about some of the names you dropped. Definitely going to be some cool things coming into Musikfest next year. But we're a little past halfway of this year. So next year is one thing. Let's stay focused on this year. You certainly talked about the amazing lineup at T-Mobile Plaza Tropical. But we've got 4 or 5 more days, right?
Yeah, something
I don't know. What is time anymore? I can't keep track. But we go through Sunday. So what are some of those last kind of absolutely get to the fest, check these artists out before it ends with the fantastic fireworks celebration?
So the Plaza lineup that I said, check that out tonight. And also tonight we have Hannah Gill. She's a former singer with Postmodern Jukebox, who we love, a jazzy, powerful vocals, kind of like Etta James, Amy Winehouse.
Oh, wow.
They're playing at Zinzinplatz at 7 o'clock, I believe.
Okay.
On Friday, we have a band called Yam House, and they were actually supposed to play our Levitt 2020 series. Obviously, that did not happen. And then we tried to reschedule for 21, didn't really work out. And then we found this Musikfest date that worked. So this band was probably booked late 2019, and we're finally going to see it come together August of 21. And they've got really like upbeat, groovy music. It's going to be like really fun.
Yeah, a lot of that kind of happening, you know, like especially on the main stage with some of those headliners that went on sale in December of 2019, finally coming through to Bethlehem. So very, very cool. Yeah. Shayna, you're very busy. I know you got to get around to all the free stages, check in with all of the bands.
Get my steps in.
Yeah, get your steps in for the day for sure. Make sure you hydrate. If you're coming down to Musikfest today, it is a hot one, so drink plenty of water and make sure you're taking care of yourself. What would Musikfest be if we weren't sweating our butts off, right?
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage.
Yeah, this is definitely classic Musikfest weather. I never thought I would say I missed it, but it's a hot one and I missed it, and I'm so glad that we get to be under tents sweating and listening to live music. But Shayna Super, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Service Electric. Thank you, John.
Aw, you're too kind. You're too kind. You don't need to thank us. Thank you. And remember, check out the Musikfest website. Check out the Musikfest Facebook page right after the festival. They'll be posting announcements on when those band submissions open up for Musikfest 2022. Shayna, thanks again. Thank you all for tuning in. We've got one last break here as we finish out our live lead-in show here on Service Electric. We will be back. Do not go anywhere. I'm going to be joined, I think, possibly by the birthday girl herself, Christy Fulkerson. Welcome back to our live lead-in show here on Service Electric as we march towards the beginning of the Wednesday of Musikfest here in Bethlehem. Jon Lunger, joined by Christy Fulkerson. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
We got a balloon for you.
Oh my gosh, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
So when your
Thank
birthday
you.
falls in the middle of Musikfest, what do you have cake, or do you like just get corn and stick a candle on it?
I mean, I think it depends on which day of Musikfest. Right smack in the middle today.
Right, yeah.
So I haven't quite decided yet. I usually buy myself jewelry on my birthday
that's good.
during Musikfest.
That's fun.
That's
I saw
appropriate.
some pretty cool jewelry
I did
vendors
too.
this year.
Supporting the artisans, right? You know, as a kid, I spent my birthdays at Knoebels, and as an adult, I spend my birthdays at Musikfest.
Yeah.
So I think it's a win-win.
That's not too shabby. I saw right around the corner from us, actually, one of the new food vendors is the Philly Waffle Cabin.
Oh,
And they're making fresh waffle creations with like sweet toppings and ice cream, and that might be the perfect kind of sub-in for a piece of cake.
And if anyone knows me, I have a strong love for grilled cheese, and there's a gourmet grilled cheese truck back here too. So I feel like, thank you. You just planned my, at least my afternoon.
I do what I can. As a fat kid, I have very few skills, but talking about food and knowing about food, that's one of them.
Well, you're the go-to guy for that. We know that with
guy.
your music feast, eating your way through Musikfest. And speaking of, we've seen a number of your segments, you know, on all three of our channels during our coverage so far. Can I put you on the spot and ask you which of the music feast deliciousness that you've enjoyed the most?
Oh, hands down, this is an easy question. I have a new favorite all-time food item at Musikfest. Okay. A brand new vendor, first time this year, Cubano Express from somewhere in New Jersey. I'm not sure where.
Is that the one you described as perfect?
It's perfect.
I feel like I guess I should have known that.
Yeah.
Because only one can be perfect.
Yeah, it is. It is literally perfect, and I know some of the crew, Squeezer here for Service Electric, seconds my pick for this sandwich being perfect. So it's a Cubano Blt.
Okay.
So it's your typical Cubano sandwich. So you got your pork, your ham, and your Swiss cheese, right?
Right.
But then they kind of throw a twist on it. Then they throw like basically a BLT on top. So you get bacon, lettuce, tomato, and they top it with this heavenly sofrito sauce before they press it. And like I literally bit into it for that video for the first time. And like I was like, I don't know what to say. I think if you watch that video, I actually say, uh-oh. And that was literally,
meaning I'm going to be back every single day?
Yeah, I've had 4 of them already.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's okay. That's not even one a day.
Yeah, no, that's great. Doc, if you're listening, I know we have a yearly checkup after the festival, and you're going to yell at me. Chrissy said it was okay.
We keep saying it. Calories, they don't count here.
They don't count at Musikfest. No,
10
they do
free
not.
days, folks.
Yeah.
That's it, though. Just 10.
For sure. But speaking of food and beverage, one of the cornerstones of this festival, there's some new, pretty cool things at the Arts Quest Center at Steel Stacks. During shutdown, renovations and construction happened, completely redesigning the first floor of the Arts Quest Center, adding a new restaurant and a new bar. And I believe Gwen had a chance to jump over there and give us a little behind-the-scenes action at Palette and Pour and Central Tap at Steel Stacks.
She did. Let's hear what she has to say, Gwen.
Every year, Musikfest debuts tons of new experiences like food, activities, and of course music. But this year, they debuted an entire new bar, an outdoor bar called the Central Tap. And so far, it's a hit. I swear there's no rum in this Coke. Cheers.
Right before the pandemic, we were in the process of a big renovation here on our first floor of the Arts Quest Center. And we were able to finish it during the pandemic, but we weren't able to debut it, obviously, until we could open back up. So, Central Tap is there outside. Also, the first floor has a much better bar than we had before, much more prominent, something that you can actually see yourself having drinks at after a show.
In partnership with Levy Restaurants, the Arts Quest Center got a brand new facelift, equipped with new bars and plenty of Yingling on tap to either hang around and have a drink or fill your mug and get festin'.
Our partners at Levy Restaurants, who run our food and beverage here at the Arts Quest Center, they worked with us on helping to develop this great space that we knew could help be dynamic and also really help serve the people, at our outdoor concerts. Central Tap is something, the Levitt Pavilion shows are obviously one of the favorite things that people come to here at the Arts Quest Center. And we wanted to make sure that people could get their beverages to enjoy those concerts as quick as possible, as that is part of our job too. So that's why Central Tap, we're thrilled to have it. We think it looks beautiful. We are also incredibly thrilled with the way the first floor looks. And if you haven't been down here yet, please come down and check it out, because it's a great place to enjoy live music, live anything, and even just to hang out with some friends too.
At Musikfest, I'm Gwen Begley for the Service Electric Network.
Have you been down there yet, Chrissy?
I have.
It's beautiful.
It really is.
It really is. And honestly, there's like a lack of great outdoor bars in the Lehigh Valley. And so to have such an amazing backdrop of the Steel Stacks and certainly those Levitt concerts that Ryan was talking about in that piece, it's just an incredible addition to the Steel Stacks campus. A great way, to kind of... It's almost
it brings it all together.
Yeah, it's icing on the birthday cake.
Yeah. It's always a great experience to go down there before Palette and Pour opened, before they had the outdoor bar. But it just adds another level of entertainment, another level of comfort. What you're looking for. You may be there for food, you may be there for the drinks, maybe a little bit of both. But to have the stage right there, too, even if you're not over on the Levitt Pavilion lawn or in Musikfest case, America Plots, you can still hear it, you can still enjoy it. So really cool.
I feel like you didn't want to acknowledge the icing on the birthday cake metaphor, birthday girl. I think you want me to drop it so badly.
Sometimes the metaphors go right over the head, John. So.
Well, that's okay, because the good news is we don't have to talk anymore, because Musikfest is about to start here. We are moments away from the official kickoff here on Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, senetwork.tv has the complete schedule of all things Musikfest.
All things Musikfest, and today we're kicking off with polka, so don't go anywhere. Mike Mittman, Mr. Musikfest with Service Electric, going to be here right after this quick break.
Thank you so much. We will see you down at the fest.